What's up, guys? Wanted to give a little bit of insight into how I do these more recent projects. So I found this random Instagram post of this newlywed couple online, and I found that it spoke to me a little bit. So here I am just sketching it out, just using graphite, just laying down my initial thoughts about the piece. I really like the composition here, just in general from a photo standpoint, and then in terms of the colors, there's a little bit of fade on it. There's some grays, there's an orange tone in the background with the lights, and they have some pretty smug faces going on. Overall, I thought it was a very good opportunity here to capture something. And so once I get this rough outline done, I'm going to throw in some background lights and work on the railing a little bit more. I take a little bit more time to sketch out further details, and then I actually switch to colored pencils. Now, in this case, I'm working with a much smaller canvas than normal. Generally, there's a lot more room for colored pencils and pastels and so on in my work. But this one being a smaller canvas, it will not hurt me, but I don't think it really adds anything, as you'll later see. Starting to build up that color scheme a little bit more here now. Added some pastels. Usually with my work, I like to layer it, so I do graphite, work with colored pencils a little bit, and then I'll move to pastels. And I think that just provides more perspective and draws the viewer in a little bit more. You'll see for this instance, it's probably not the best case or best use scenario, but in any case, here's what I did. Finally, we get to some good stuff. I think this overall was a bit of a rushed little project, but as you can see, I'm using an old paint palette, which I should have cleaned. But otherwise, I like to just get some initial thoughts down when I'm starting the paint project or any paint project, and throw some black in there, black paint, and so I kind of go over things and highlight, different features, and then begin to throw down my colors and start my layers in that way. I really liked how the work was going up until this point. I think this kind of just emphasizes the importance of, having a clean palette when you start, because I got very messy with, the greens there. I went to go for the face, and all of a sudden, it's this muddy yellow color. And, once you get there, the novice in me is really just wanting to basically keep going, adding more paint and so on. But as I've learned, I think it's better now to wait and fight that battle another day after some of the paint is dried. Here's a technique I learned kind of along my journey. Basically spraying something like Gamsol into your background as you're painting can also help you just throw down paint and get a good background scene pretty quickly. Obviously you are diluting it, so you have to be careful, but it's just one of the easier ways I found, as opposed to just throwing it on the palette. This right here is really where this piece comes together. Honestly, I was surprised at the end result. I wasn't sure I was going to get something looking good, but I found something nice with background, and then the coloring or the palette that I use overall. I kind of left the faces very vague. I think that adds to the piece a little bit. The flowers also were a nice touch. And just some final touches in the background to add a little bit more perspective. And my new thing right now is the pigment sticks, which really add kind of a final flair to the piece, as you can see that I'm doing here. Anyways, if you guys like this piece, please be sure to like and subscribe, and there will be more. Thanks.